He's got space. He's going to put it on his right. To Sinisterra's got to cut in. He does. And oh my word. He lays it off to Jacob Ramsey again, who strikes from distance. Midway through Season 2, somehow, we still find ourselves sitting in third place after 18 games with 35 points. And in this episode we have Spurs, Everton, Norwich, Southampton, Crystal Palace, Leicester City and the entire of the January transfer window to come. But the big news of the day, I am at risk of 4 of my players leaving on a free transfer at the end of this season. Coke Llorente, Struijk and Jack Harrison as well. Struijk, I'm definitely going to offer a new contract to. The other 3, I'm 50-50 on. I might play a few games and make a decision after that. And in game number 1, of course, Spurs line up 3 at the back in typical Conte fashion, 2 in central midfield, 3 up front. And as you can see, of course, no Harry Kane for Spurs as he was transferred out early doors in Season 1. As for us, of course, it is 4-3-3. No real main changes to my starting 11. It's the usual 3 in midfield. And of course, Dan James, Adeyemi and Sinisterra up front. Spurs look like they're going to go short with this corner to Gonzalez. They do. Shaparenko can't get a challenge in. Ben Davies back 2. Now on to Sarr. Gonzalez has it back now. This is dangerous from Spurs in the opening few minutes of this game. Sarr has it back, and what a strike from him. Unbelievable strike from the young central midfielder, and Spurs out of nowhere lead 1-0. He tries to turn away from the defender, and fortunately somehow it gets over into the path of Sinisterra. He cuts back though. Can he try and find a ball into the box? He can. There's no one there to meet it. Christensen to Jacob Ramsey. He's got space. He's going to put it on his right. Richarlison driving through, an unmarked Richarlison trying to be chased down by Kalulu. Where on earth is Struijk going? He ran away from him. Unfortunately, Luca Netz comes across to cover. Jacob Ramsey gives it back to Luca Netz. Infield to Adeyemi. Looking for Shaparenko. Just couldn't get there ahead of Roden. Christensen driving down this right-hand side. Great stuff from him. Tries to dink this over the top to Dan James. Can he get there ahead of the defender? He can. Oh, that's wonderful stuff from Dan James. Going to try and cut this back into the path of Sinisterra, who smashes it into the top left-hand corner. What a way to start this second half. Heung-min Son cuts back into Richarlison. Gets it back from him. Oh, that's a wonderful turn from Heung-min Son. Sessegnon, who's been pretty quiet so far this game, picks it up on the left-hand side. Nice work to get ahead of Dan James. Straight into Meslier. Big chance for Spurs there. Shaparenko. Lovely ball into Christensen. He plays through Roca. Roca tries to strike. Tanganga with the throw. Oh, nice play from Gonzalez there. Højbjerg down this right-hand side. Goes back to Gonzalez. He lays it off to Tanganga, but gets it back to him on the edge of the box. Lays it off to Rafa Mir into the path of Son. And it's 2-1. Spurs absolutely rip us to complete and utter shreds. He's going to look to try and get this ball in, but instead he lays it back off to Rafa Mir. Kalulu is there just in time. Can we try and strike a counter-attack here? No, we will not. It's game over here at White Hart Lane, and the first game of this episode, we end up losing all 3 points. It finishes Tottenham 2, Leeds 1. Game number 2 of this episode, and it is at home to Everton. They've gone for their usual 3 at the back with 2 wing-backs, 4 in midfield with the sole Antoine Griezmann up front. He absolutely tore me to shreds last time I played them, so I'm hoping he has a worse performance today. As for Leeds United, we are the same team that lost against Spurs. The only change is that of Gelhardt coming in for Adeyemi up front. Into Onana. Onana trying to drive into the penalty area, manages to drive past Struijk. Griezmann lays it off to McNeil. Fortunately, Christian's just there, just in time, but we end up losing it again, and we're all over the shop. Dan James gets it away. Into Rakitic. He plays it out wide to McNeil, but gets it back. Oh, that's wonderful play between the two of them, and I don't know where on earth Christensen's going. He manages to track back, and it's into the box. Can Griezmann get there ahead of the defender? My word, Struijk. Shaparenko with space to turn and pick a pass. And the pass to Gelhardt is what he finds. Oh, nice turn from Gelhardt to get away from the defender. Get away from a second. And Everton just get there in time. Gives it to Rakitic. Back to Onana. Onana finds Griezmann. He finds Rakitic. Again out to McNeil. McNeil with the power shot. And Christensen is there just in the nick of time. And Kalulu is there. And fortunately for us, we just about get that one away. Kalulu. Shaparenko. Oh, gets challenged by Griezmann. It's poor from him. And now Everton have it with Rakitic. Griezmann again, lays it back to Rakitic. Oh, nice stuff. Kalulu gets caught up. Griezmann with the strike. And what an unbelievable strike that was with the outside of his left foot. Curls it past the goalkeeper. He gave us a torrid time the last time we played them. And he's continued that form today. Everton take the lead. It's 1-0 to Shaparenko. Shaparenko looking for an angle. And in the end, finds Jacob Ramsey to strike from distance. Going to try and look across the pitch all the way out to Christensen. I find Christensen. He finds Dan James. He tries to float it in the box. into Shaparenko. Shaparenko's going to look out wide for Christensen. Christensen running down the right-hand side. Can he pick a ball? He does throw it into the box, and it's a big head, and it's an even bigger save from the goalkeeper. And that is that for the end of the game. Everton managed to keep a clean sheet. We couldn't break them down. In all honesty, it wasn't a particularly great game. Everton pick up the 3 points here. It ends 1-0. And as you can see, I did decide in the end to sell Jack Harrison. I was thinking about offering him a contract, but he had absolutely no intentions of signing it. So in the end, I just had to get rid of him. The board aren't happy with it, but I didn't really have anything else to do. Game number 3, and it's going to be the first sim game of this episode. As you can see from my starting 11, I have made a few changes. Fagioli comes in central defensive midfield in place of an injured Rocha. He actually picked up only a 5-day injury, so not too bad, but he's not fit enough to start today. And I have swapped my wing-backs in Firpo and Doherty, who come in for Lucanets and Christensen. And those changes help us pick up our first win of the episode. It's a 2-1 win away at Norwich. It's a game we should really be expected to win, and we get the job done. And the next one out the door was Diego Llorente to Ajax for 7.5 mil. 30 years old, he wouldn't sign a new contract, and he only had 6 months left. I think that was a pretty sensible decision. And with 24 mil now left in my transfer budget, I've either got the option to blow it all on either a replacement winger or a replacement centre-back, or go budget with the two of them. And in the end, I decided to blow it all on Brennan Johnson from Nottingham Forest, bringing him in for 20.8 mil, as you will see. I thought to myself, he's a young winger, rated about 77, right-footed, bags of pace. He's another attacking option to go with what we are building, a very attacking squad. And along with Brennan Johnson, I did manage to extend the contracts of Pascal Struijk. He would only accept 2 years though, but at least it's 2 years more than he did have on his previous contract. And Robin Koch, I've also extended his contract for another 2 years as well. So that'll take him to around 29 years of age. So all in, I'm pretty happy with the business we've done so far. I am light of a centre-back, and let's see how the rest of this window plays out and whether or not I'm going to be able to bring one in. And back to the games we go, and we're going to go for another simmed game, this time in the FA Cup, and we have been drawn against Bolton. I'm hoping that we're going to be faring a little bit better than we did last season. You'll see from my starting 11, I've made several changes. The likes of Tyler Adams coming back in, Aronson Fagioli in central midfield, and Brennan Johnson also comes in for his first start for the club. And what a start it is. He gets himself on the score sheet 23 minutes into his debut. Gelhardt comes to the rescue at the end with the late winner. Fortunately, we just managed to scrape past Bolton. Games coming thick and fast this episode once again, and here we are away to Southampton at the St Mary's Stadium. I'm going to sim this one once again, as I'm going to finish off with back-to-back games against Palace and Leicester. And as you can see, starting 11, back to the usual 11, the likes of Rocha, Shaparenko, Ramsey, Sinistera, Adeyemi, and of course Dan James coming back in. And what an impact the returning first teamers make. It's a 3-2 win away at Southampton. Tricky game. Torres getting a late goal for Southampton to claw their way back into it. But we managed to hold on, and it's another 3 points in the bag. And it's back to Ellen Road for a big game against Crystal Palace. And it's the usual 4-3-3 for us. Meslier, of course, the number one, and it's the usual back four as well. Shaparenko, Tyler Adams coming in for Rocha, as Rocha's slightly fatigued after his injury, and Dan James, Adeyemi, and of course Sinistera, the attacking trio up front. As for Palace, it is a 4-3-3 for them. Hagi, Mateta and Zaha, the attacking trio. Zaha, good challenge from Christensen. Can we get there first with Tyler Adams? We can't. That's a bad challenge, and he's very lucky to just get away with the yellow card. Into the path of Decore. Hagi has it. Mateta back to Decore. Decore in the box. Jacob Ramsey going to try and play this ball over the top to Sinistera. Can he get there ahead of the right back? He can after a quick tussle. He goes into the box and he turns onto his right to finesse this. Tyler Adams out wide. Tyler Adams gives it to Sinistera. Sinistera's got Lucanets. Is he offside? He's not. He flings it into the box. Into Jacob Ramsey, trying to look for Sinistera. It's a wonderful ball. Adeyemi can't stay on side, so Sinistera's got to cut in. He does. And oh my word. Oh, Jacob Ramsey picks that up after a dodgy pass from Gusto. Shaparenko now has it. He's going to try and strike from the edge of the box. Very nicely for Crystal Palace. Eze lays it off to Mateta. He tries to give it back out wide to Hagi. He's got grass to run into on this right-hand side. Lays it back off to Eze. Eze trying to be tackled down by Jacob Ramsey. Can't get on the end of it. Adeyemi goes deep. I'm going to try and look for Sinistera. That is an incredible ball out to Sinistera, but the problem is he's not in the box now, but I lay it back off of him. He's going to try and go back on the right-hand side to Christensen. He dinks it in. Can he get it above the keeper? No, he can't. into Tyler Adams. Tyler Adams finds Jacob Ramsey. He finds Sinisterra. Goes back to Jacob Ramsey. Jacob Ramsey on his right into Adeyemi. He goes out wide to Christensen. Going to try and throw this in first time. It's a good ball in. Tyler Adams. Tyler Adams into Adeyemi. He's got Dan James on the right-hand side. Finds Dan James. Switches it onto his left. Trying to get into the penalty area. Tyler Adams. Oh, that's a good challenge from Tyler Adams. Tyler Adams keeps going forward. Going to try and look out wide for Jacob Ramsey. Finds Jacob Ramsey. Jacob Ramsey has it in the centre, but that is that. It's game over here. Once again, we can't break a team down. We couldn't break Crystal Palace down, and it finishes here at Ellen Road, 0-0. And because we beat Bolton earlier on in the episode, of course we are through to the next round of the FA Cup, and we've got a huge draw against West Ham. Now the FA Cup is not my priority, so I am going to sim this game as I do have Leicester to finish off this episode. But as you can see, I am taking this very, very seriously. Full strength team out. Firpo comes in for Lucanets at the back. That is the only change. And even with my full strength team, it ends 1-1 at Ellen Road. So that means we will be going back to the London Stadium for a replay. And it's on to the King Power Stadium for an away game against Leicester City. Full strength lineup for me. Lucanets back in at left back is the only change. Rocker, of course, Shaparenko, Ramsey in midfield. Dan James, Adeyemi and Sinisterra up front. As for Leicester, it's the usual 4 at the back, 5 in midfield with Jamie Vardy, the sole striker up front. He gave me a torrid time last time. They seem to be my bogey team on FIFA. We drew 2-2. I'm hoping for a better result this time. Sinisterra drives through the midfield, lays a wonderful ball out wide to the on-running Christensen. Can he find a man in the box? Instead plays it back to Shaparenko. Shaparenko. Leicester City have it now with Subotic. He's driving into the area and it's a great goal. It's a fantastic finish from the Leicester winger. It's a brilliant finish under the arms of the goalkeeper. And out of nothing, Leicester take the lead early doors here. Tielemans goes short now to Vardy. Tielemans gets it back from him. Where on earth is Shaparenko going? I've no idea. Vardy coming into the box unmarked. It's back to Subotic. And it's, I can't even say his name properly. I'm trying to say it quickly enough, but I keep getting it wrong. We are all over the shop here. It's 2-0 Leicester inside the opening 30 minutes. Ramsey tries to go over the top to Sinisterra. Can he get there ahead of the right back? He can. It's good stuff from him, battling still with him. Can he keep the ball in play? He can. Lays it off now to Jacob Ramsey. He drives into the area. He can't get anywhere with it, but gives it back to Sinisterra, who bends it round into Adeyemi. Adeyemi lays it off to Shaparenko. I'm looking for the run of Adeyemi again. Don't find it. Instead, I find Rocker. He lays it off to Jacob Ramsey, who strikes. He's going to try and run down this left-hand side to try and create some space. In the end, gives it back to Lucanets. Lucanets finds himself in the middle, but he's on his wrong foot. Now Adeyemi has it. And in the end, Tielemans gets it. And we just cannot seem to break Leicester down. Now has it. He turns nicely away from the defender. And then lays it off to Jovovic again with the power shot. And it has to be the man whose name I cannot say properly. He hits us with a power shot and he hits us with a hat-trick. Leicester City absolutely taking us apart here. Lays it in to Jacob Ramsey. Jacob Ramsey trying to look for a run. Finds Brennan Johnson. He's offside. And that is that for the end of this game. Leicester City absolutely take us to pieces. It's the man whose name I can't pronounce, gets the 3 goals from them, picks up the hat-trick, picks up the match ball. I said at the beginning of the game that Leicester City are a team we struggle against, and they proved that once again. It finishes here at the King Power Stadium, 3-0 Leicester. Now, I was planning on finishing the episode with the game against Leicester, but obviously due to such a bad performance and such a bad result, I thought I might as well go ahead and play the replay in the FA Cup against West Ham. And as you can see from my starting 11, I have made several changes. The likes of Matt Doherty and Junior Firpo coming in, Tyler Adams as well, Popescu, Gelhardt and Brennan Johnson start as the attacking trio. In the end, can he play it into Jacob Ramsey? He can. Jacob Ramsey doesn't have any options though. Ends up going back to Junior Firpo. Looks like Tyler Adams has come short for him. Tyler Adams trying to turn. He lays it off to Jacob Ramsey again, who strikes from distance. He lays it back off to Jared Bowen. He's got time to pick out a ball here and he dinks a lovely ball in. Paqueta tries to play a wonderful ball through to Cornet. Into Paqueta. Oh, he plays another great ball to Cornet. That ball is on all game. And then we end up giving the ball away. Into Paqueta. Paqueta into our box, trying to make the block with Struijk. We do make the block. And we're away with Fagioli here. He's got so much space to run into. And he gets away from the defender. But Aguerd is there for West Ham. West Ham have a corner here. Looks like Jared Bowen is going to put this one into the box. He does. It's away from Matt Doherty. West Ham pick it up though. Into Cuellar. Scamacca the substitute. Oh, that's a poor throw from Meslier. Straight onto the head of Cornet. Jared Bowen turns. Rodrigo's there. And it's into the back of the net from Jared Bowen of West Ham. We are all over the shop at the back. It's been a pretty terrible game, I've got to be honest. And with 10 minutes left, West Ham take the lead. Tyler Adams driving forward now. This is probably going to be one of the last opportunities of the game we have. And we end up giving away. It's so poor. Emerson has it for West Ham. And that is that for the end of the game. Once again, I failed to score. I don't know what is going on with me this episode. I can't seem to buy a goal. That is us out of the FA Cup. And with transfer deadline day upon us, I'm just going to head over to my budget overview and you can see I've only got 5 million left to spend. I've checked the loan list and I've checked the transfer list and there's literally no decent players on there. So I think that is going to be that for my business this window. I'm going to skip deadline day and let's see what the major transfers are. So annoyingly, it won't let me filter by January only business. So there is going to be some overlap with some of the transfers that happened in the summer. But the biggest talking point is the huge move for Bastoni to West Ham for 94.2 mil. Anyone who watched my FIFA 22 career mode will know he was at the heart of my defence and he was at the heart of West Ham's defence when they just knocked us out of the FA Cup as well. So what an unbelievable signing for them. As for the rest of the business, Camavinga going to Dortmund for 73.1 mil, and I'm pretty sure that is that for some of the major business, apart from Fekir going to Real Madrid for 57.1 mil. What a signing. Well, what a great opportunity for him. Fantastic for him going to Real Madrid at his age. But apart from that, pretty much all of the major business happened in the summer. And the major business that really happened for me was only one incoming with Brennan Johnson coming in for 20.8 mil and two outgoings, Jack Harrison and Llorente, going out for 16 and 7.5 mil respectively. And in spite of us not even being able to buy a goal this episode, we somehow still find ourselves in 4th place. We are dropping down the table. Manchester City have taken an unassailable lead in 1st place. United 2nd, Chelsea 3rd. Spurs have clawed their way back up to 5th. Arsenal 6th and Liverpool in 7th. But somehow, some way, we still find ourselves in the top 6. But heading to the bottom of the table, Preston, Fulham and Stoke in the drop zone. Norwich find themselves in 17th, just clinging on to 17th place. But for us, we are in 4th. It's a great run so far this season. Can we make a challenge for the Champions League? And that is that for the end of this episode. Thank you so much for watching, everyone. We've got some massive games coming up in tomorrow's episode. United, Newcastle, Liverpool, and also heading into March as well, we've got City, Stoke and West Ham too. So if you have enjoyed this episode, please feel free to like and subscribe. It will do the channel an absolute world of good. And hopefully, I'll see you again next time.